let's vibe tonight. It's prime time. Officer, you know I'm on the grind. You know gas prices are way too high. Putin's got to die. Put a bullet in Putin's head. Yeah, that's what I said. I'm a freak for the vaccine. Vaccinate my body at the party. Sipping Bacardi. I'm the proof when I'm in the booth. Spitting on the mic. Putin's anti-vax. Putin hates all of them blacks. Putin is a bad racist. Put him in the ground, white or brown. And I'm in plain old town. And you know you just got found. I'm a pimp on a blimp. Eating lots of steak and shrimp. No, you can't stop my shine. I'm number 99. And you know I grind and shine.
That was when I first discovered Alex Stein.
Oh, see, I saw all his clips like from the beginning. Like, I think even he was doing it even like at the start of COVID or whatever. He started doing all that kind of stuff because he started going and doing all kinds of skits and everything. And
yeah, he was doing a bunch of crazy stuff like that. Whenever I saw that, I was like, this has got to be a stunt, right? Like, this is a joke. And then I go find more and more and more. Like his poor city council. Every time he walks in the door, they've just got to be like, oh, fuck, not this guy again. Like, because
he probably deserve it.
He's always got something like that he's doing. It's hilarious. And the fact that they like humor him and sit there and let him do it every time, they must have a pretty decent sense of humor about him.
Well, I mean, like, they probably don't care that they're like, okay, this is taking time up from some other idiot who's complaining about like, oh, I want the speed limit raised 5 miles an hour on this road or whatever, something like, or lowered. Usually it's lowered. You know, I don't know why. Dummies around here that they want the speed limit lowered because they're like, hey, these people going too fast down my road. I swear to God, like that's exactly how all of them are. It's like,
you know, with those weird speed limits of like 12 miles an hour or 7 miles an hour, the signs.
Our road is 25, and I'm like, people are still asking for it to be lowered because they're like, man, people are going too fast on this road. Like, what the hell do you expect? Like,
you know, it's funny you mentioned that. The way to do that is to just become the council president or whatever, and then do it yourself.
I'll raise speed limit on my road. Yeah.
there's a guy that I went to college with. There's a long stretch from Mayfield, Paducah to Paducah, or from Mayfield, Kentucky to Paducah, Kentucky, that was always a 55 mile an hour speed limit, and it's like 4-lane open road, and it was just a massive speed trap. It was like 15, I think it's like 18 or 20 mile stretch. That's 55 mile an hour speed limit for no reason whatsoever. And so after we graduated, he like got himself on the council and then just changed the speed limit and raised it to 65 on that road. So now it's a 65 mile an hour speed limit on that road. Like, go fix the problems that you've identified. Don't quit going and complaining, and just boot somebody out of their council seat and do it yourself.
Well, see, it like if you want something like safer or whatever, like it is easy to kind of like say to the council or whatever, like go complain, like, oh, you know, the speed limit. But yeah, like you said, definitely easier just to get on the council and say, well, you know, I'm going to introduce this, and like most of the time people go along with it unless they just absolutely are just trying to hate you for some reason. Like, I mean, most of the time stuff gets passed. If you put something up in the council, there's very few times that it doesn't get passed. So, like,
unless it's going to directly have a negative impact on one of the other council person's checkbook, they don't give a shit. Like,
or if it's something like there was something interesting. I don't always watch our like city council meetings or whatever, but occasionally I do, just to kind of keep up with what's going on and everything. You know, they apparently there was one of the council members who proposed, like, just symbolically, I guess, like approving of like a sort of signaling of like, hey, we believe, you know, pro-life. We support the state's, you know, ruling on how, like, on our, you know, abortion laws or whatever. Essentially, like, you know, we, you know, like our city is going to go along with the state's abortion laws. I guess that was kind of what it was going to be like. And then I guess the other people just didn't like the guy, so they didn't go along with it. But this is like the reddest of red cities, and I don't know. They were just kind of.
That's like a buddy of mine, Brandon Harnish. He ran for county council in his county here in Indiana, and like it was a lot of it was based on there were some things that the council had been doing that they weren't doing it nefariously. Like there wasn't any deliberate ill intent for doing the stuff. It was just people would bring like the people who complain the most tend to be generally they're like screeching liberals. And so they would bring this stuff to the council and the council would be like, okay, we'll just do this to get them to shut the fuck up and go away. And so then like they do all this stuff and now you have the negative consequences of just doing stuff to get people to shut up and go away. And then so he got on the council, he got pissed off about it, got on the council and started reversing a bunch of that stuff and throwing that stuff out and doing away with it. And also telling the other people on the council, like, you're going to grow a fucking pair and we're going to do this. And I'm going to drag you along. I'm going to drag you along to the victory in doing this, whether you like it or not. And it's like that's the lack of a spine in a lot of places is kind of what has led to the detriment of society as we see it. It's less nefarious, like ill intent to do these terrible things so much as it's just trying to get somebody to shut the fuck up and go away. Whereas the best way to get them to shut the fuck up and go away is to bully them into self-harm or, whatever.
Well, it's like, it's
slap him with a mushroom. Let Jay Forte slap him with a mushroom. Well, mushroom tap.
That mushroom looks like it can fight.
That's how I knew I'd get you in here. I had to put a mushroom out there to tempt you.
I've been trying for the last 10 minutes, dude. My internet is trash. I don't know what I pay for.
So does that mean we're not doing a empty tomb today?
We can try. I mean, once it's up and going, I think it kind of holds on. I don't know.
We'll talk about it once I get home from dropping the kids off at school. Teaser for everybody who follows that sort of thing.
Y'all haven't done
is
a
returning.
Show in a while. Yeah.
Yeah, it's returning at some point in the undisclosed future, possibly today
or next year.
Yeah, one of these days. We'll get around to it eventually. It's like the rapture. It's coming. You just don't know when.
Just gotta hang on.
So Nikki Haley, she's running for president, obviously. So
it sounds like it could be a porn star name.
It really does. It really does.
Doesn't it? I mean, I don't know.
Now, granted,
they field tested it to see because her name is Nimrod or whatever. Like they had to field test it to see what would get the best response, and they probably field tested it on the 20 to 32-year-old male demographic who were all spending way too much time on Pornhub at the time, and so that's how they.
Well, and they have this sort of
her fake name.
She's not ugly. She has the kind of MILF vibes. That's what she's not enough MILF. She's not the Kristi Noem. She's not Kristi Noem, but she's not fat and ugly. So I mean that's kind of plus for.
Wow, those are some standards.
I mean, in America, are you kidding? She's not fat.
Did she get some work done? She looks different than I remember.
I think she got some. I don't know.
Those look like higher cheekbones. Yeah. Is this really Nikki Haley, or is this?
I wish Michael was here today, and I wish
Joe
our
Biden's
children
clone sister,
and I could see him tonight, but we can't.
What happened?
He's serving on the other side of the world, where conflict is the norm, where terrorists hide among the innocent, where Iran's terrorist proxies are now attacking American troops.
So she goes this feel crying, the fact that she's telling her husband that he would have to go to war, since he's in the military, he would have to go to war because of her desire to, like, I don't know, fight back Putin or whatever, and all that kind of stuff.
And we
So,
know
make Iran.
he doesn't want to. We know her husband doesn't want to get shipped off to war, because that means she'll start plowing
Banging.
through every every donor in South Carolina again.
Apparently her account, like the I guess whatever's the social media manager.
Wait, she have an OnlyFans too?
No. But she had some intern who was managing her account, and apparently like scheduled posts.
Steve.
And then yeah. So Steve apparently made where's the 12? Oh, she made a post. It was like 12 fellas down, 1 to go.
While you're looking for that, in comparison, here's Kristi Noem.
Yeah, see that, Kristi Noem is definitely the better MILF vibes, but like, you can see kind of how like if horny 18-year-old dude like just wants.
They're antlers. They're not horns, Trey.
That Kristi Noem that Kristi Noem picture just gives off like Sarah Palin upgrade vibes. Like this is like the next step up. This is like
betcha.
They're gonna get one more step up. They're gonna find some other hot chick to actually run for mayor or something like that, and then be out there.
I mean, Carrie Lake is pretty good, but I don't think she hunts.
No.
Magoo, the thing is, it's 8:45 in the morning, and this judgment is much better than your 1 a.m. judgment. Just because what you do at 1 a.m., doesn't mean it's okay.
Jim knows about 1 a.m. hotel bar bad decisions. He keeps taking that same dude back to his room, and he just can't figure out why it keeps happening.
Barry, is that you, Barry?
Oh yeah, this is Nikki Haley. 12 fellas down, 1 to go. And people were posting like, "Oh, this is like the baker's dozen. Like she's got to get out. She's got to take them all at once."
The photoshops are great.
Put that back up there. Put that back up there. I didn't get a chance to look at that.
Oh my gosh.
Maximize my screen.
Oh.
You're now free to move around the cabin.
Does kind of sound like that. But yeah, she.
Oh well, you lost it.
No, there it
lost
is.
My attention.
12 fellas down, 1 to go. And then there's people replying.
What was that in reference to? Was that in reference to like?
All the other
Kinzinger, the fella guy. Who was that?
I don't know.
There was one of them, Kinzinger, or who's the other clown that
movies.
was on like the Ukraine thing?
Phrasing, make it a quote. Oh, I love when make it a quote. Like because it puts the image like now you see her image. 12 fellas down, 1 to go. 37.
Whose brilliant idea was that? Like what?
I think what she's trying to say is like, obviously like all the other men that were because she's trying to say that she's trying to do this whole thing, obviously like
I know, but like it doesn't take.
Did you see the happy birthday to this future president or some bullshit? Like whoever's she pulled Hillary's campaign manager to run her social media for this thing.
Yes.
But like you have to understand when you make that statement, 75% of the population is going to go there. 75%, more than that, is going to say like pick up on that vibe, like that is such the undertones are too strong to ignore. The innuendo is too much. Like you can't not know that. I don't know.
Hillary means all the more relevant.
Yes. Oh my god. There was something else here. We can watch Mayor Eric Adams back in the day whenever he was in the state senate. He recorded this video. I think they said he's going to redo this video though. This is hilarious.
And for 22 years, I wore a bulletproof vest. Please come and join me inside my house.
Bag of rice.
What I would like to show here is to empower parents on how to search a room inside their home. You write the Constitution. There are no First Amendment rights inside your household. So by periodically sending a message to your home that there are no rooms off limits, you don't believe in locked doors, your house is open to inspection, but you always have to inspect what you expect. You can look in the jewelry box. A jewelry box of this nature, maybe a simple jewelry box, but if you look through it closely, you don't know what your child may be hiding. For instance, a gun could be hidden, a small caliber weapon could be hidden inside a jewelry box. When your child brings in his popular knapsack, many different locations, look through it to see what exactly is your child carrying in addition to a book. Something simple as a crack pipe, a used crack pipe. It's quite possible. But this is a discussion piece where you should start speaking with him to find out what is he doing with it. Behind a picture frame, you can find bullets. What does that mean to find bullets?
Yeah, you're just going to put one bullet.
No. Where there's smoke, there's possible fire. Where there's a bullet, there's possibly a gun. The baby doll could be just a baby doll, but also it could be a place where you can secrete or hide drugs. Run your hand over pillows. Yeah. This one could be hidden inside a pillow, a gun. Just look and see what's inside your bookcases. Perfect place to hide cocaine. There are no First Amendment rights.
I want to know how he knows. Like, how do you know it's a good place to hide cocaine?
You have a duty and obligation to protect the members of your household.
Yeah, that was him back in the.
Gotta give that doll an anal cavity search. You never know.
You just shove your hand up, like, oh god.
Yeah. He was getting because he was. I saw something in the news the other day with him talking about like pushing back on the migrants, like I think, or he was getting flack from people because he's trying to put migrants up in like
people's houses,
high rises, or like expensive housing, luxury housing. He was trying to put them up there, and he was getting crap from like New York City people. It's like, oh, okay.
I can't help but think of this Old and Living Color skit. The way he talks and the way a lot of people that get into power that are supposed to be elite thinkers talk, it just always reminds me of Damon Wayans' character from In Living Color. the prison philosopher. If you want to like hit that.
Let's see.
I mean, I get it. As a parent, you got to be vigilant. But
do you think you'll be able to adjust to life on the outside?
Allow me to partologize myself. Suppositorily speaking, my incarceration has forced, you understand, the ventilation of, shall I say, my dairy air. And upon my discharge, I will ejaculate my mind to the prophylactic of the bowels of society.
But how would you support yourself, Mr. Bates, considering that your reading comprehension has gone down every year since you've been in prison?
A very vaginative proposition, my man. That is to say, prostitution pertaining to the context, you understand, of the argument. I myself have imminentized my liquidation.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. I mean, that's literally how they do it.
If you can sell out, like if you're okay with being a sellout, you can be a politician. That's like the end.
Speaking of sellout, apparently John Oliver wants to buy out Clarence Thomas. So this is him talking about Clarence Thomas. I don't know why he's talking about Clarence.
This is the god awful shit that supposedly passes for comedy these days, and that's why it's no good. It's why Eminem,
see Colbert's monologue meltdown.
Colbert, John Oliver, even
how's Jon Stewart doing?
Jon Stewart,
he's spurging, yeah.
Yeah, he's had some super spurgy bullshit. Like, they're supposed to be funny, and instead they're just fucking awful. Like, there's nothing amusing or funny about that. It's just bad. Like, everything that they do comes across as we're angry little men who don't like things that are being done. So that, like, you could at least, like, there are ways to make that shit funny, but they can't do it. What is this?
See, this is an actual funny article.
That's why I made the 13th Amendment joke.
Another Democrat attempts to purchase a black man because he's talking about John Oliver, and it tells about how he was offering.
John Oliver didn't become a U.S. until 2019. So, yeah.
Well, he understood the importance of voting in the 2020 election to get that unique evil that was Donald Trump out of office. That's why he became
got in right at the finish line, under the radar, kind of like that beautiful Asian chick that won Miss Japan.
the white chick who won
the Ukrainian that we're not sure if it's actually a chick.
Yeah, there's no way that's a chick. That's a dude.
Too strong of a jawline.
I'm surprised. I figured Japan would be as ethnocentric as they are. They would keep it like
right.
But they're like too. No, you don't get it. Like they literally think that like white people are actually like I don't know. They treat them like with like utmost respect because for some reason I don't know. Because apparently people go over there and like they're white, they're like, oh, your skin is so fair. Oh, I wish I wish mine was like that almost. Some people say that they actually do that. I don't know how true that is, but that's how some people have claimed that they whenever they go over there, they're like, oh, your fair skin. I wish mine was kind of like that. Like,
well, all Western men do look like Goku.
Yes, that's what it is. That's what it is. The animification of Japan. They're like, I want to be like Goku, and Goku is white, so why can't I? I mean, that's what it is.
Wow.
That has to be it, because they're like, oh man, only a white man can be this strong. Like,
did it to themselves, I guess.
Oh my god, it reminds me of I don't know. You just triggered another memory. That South Park with they're making fun of Pokemon.
Yeah,
pull that up.
To make sure it does not happen again.
Well, now come on. I don't think that quite satisfies my.
You are American?
Yes.
Oh, you must have very big penis.
Excuse me? I was just asking you what you're up to with these toys.
Nothing. We are very simple people with very small penis. Mr. Ho's penis is especially small.
So small.
We cannot achieve much with so small penis. But you, Americans, wow, penis so big. So big penis.
Well, I guess it is a pretty good size.
Well, I guess.
Magoo. When you drop the sun on someone twice, I'd respect them too. That's nice.
Yeah, I mean that is, maybe that actually, like it rewired, their genetics, because they got a little bit of that nuclear stuff, and they were like,
that's
oh,
where
man,
Hello Kitty
Americana, like they absorbed it into their in their gene, the DNA, and then
it's because
like, Americana.
It's because we wiped them off the face of the earth and went back and rebuilt it, and so now that's like white saviors.
The white savior complex, yeah. Oh god, that's great.
Well, everybody that knew we were the ones that blew them up, they all died. So everybody else that were coming in to help, they just see us as here to help. Imagine what Japan would be like if we never dropped nukes on. It never would have. Well, I don't want to say never, but the timeline for Japan entering the technological realm that it is in probably would have been delayed by a good 40 years.
Right, and they wouldn't have been able to pick up and go with it probably like the way that they have.
Hey, did something happen recently in China with a water treatment plant exploding or something like that? I thought I saw something about that recently, and then it just disappeared, and I didn't hear anything about it.
I never trust those reports because I don't know if they're true. There's some of them, yes, I see that kind of stuff. There's this building fell, and blew up in China or something like that, and it's I don't know if it's true or not.
The building's falling. That is 100% true, but that has nothing to do with anything nefarious. It's just they put these things up in 14 minutes with concrete that's 90% sand, and then a strong wind blows through, and the whole thing falls over. Like,
yeah.
But we can talk about stuff in America. There, obviously we have our main presidential candidate being completely railroaded. Apparently he had that fine that was issued in that civil case. It was like $350. $350 million. And then
This is the one in New York, Letitia James.
Yeah, $350 million here, and
Latitia.
It does look like Latitia.
He's being sued by Latitia, and Fanny's coming at him down here in Atlanta.
He's got the tits and the
Got 'em
fanny
all.
coming after him. The tits and the fanny coming after him.
Ass and titties.
that's what happens when you grab her. That's what happens when you grab her by the pussy.
But so apparently she said she will, she's potentially going to seize his buildings and other assets if he can't just pay up to the $354 million. If he doesn't have the funds to pay off the judgment, then we will seek judgment enforcement mechanism in court, and we will ask the judge to seize his assets.
How are they going to seize assets to match that when they're trying to say that Mar-a-Lago is only worth $18 million? Like the whole premise of this is that his assets weren't worth as much as what the whole premise of this is that his assets weren't worth as much as what he said they were. But now you're going to go seize his assets for that doesn't work. What's really fucked up about
Stop
that
asking me questions.
Is the fact that the banks went on the stand and said, we got all of our money back and then some. He's a great customer. We would love to continue to do business with him. Like we have absolutely no complaint here, and don't understand why the fuck you're doing any of this. Like, we had our own independent valuators who look at the properties and determine what their value is, and like whatever he says, the bank goes and looks at it and either agrees to it or makes an adjustment to it. Like there's no case whatsoever in this. And the problem with this is going to be, in order for him to appeal, he has to basically pony up like $45 million that he'll just never get back just to start the appeal process. And he has to show, what is it? He has to show asset or equity for somewhere in the neighborhood of $500 million in order to get the ball rolling, and then he's got to pony up the $45 million to actually do it. It's fucking
his
insane.
net worth is going down. He's like during office and even out of office now, his net worth has kind of been averaging or going a little bit down depending on what's going on. I think maybe the sneakers that he was selling. Oh man, if I could find a picture of this.
They're trying to bleed him so he can't campaign, I guess. But I mean, every time they do one of these stunts, it just makes his approval numbers go up.
And also his like campaign fundraising. Every time they pull one of these bullshit stunts, his fundraising goes up too. Like,
can they seize his assets outside of New York?
So
I think it depends. It depends on if he does the banking through New York banks. I think that's if his assets were acquired through the New York banking. Like if he has mortgages.
Does the bank just have to have a branch there, or it's got to be home base there? I guess.
I think it would have to. If he did it from that home base, like from New York, I guess. I think. I'm not entirely sure on that.
I don't know what you're looking for, Trey, but I can't crap, I don't have it pulled up, obviously, because I saw it yesterday. One of the online news things ran, like, one of the guys that, bought a pair of the J6s that Trump's, his shoes.
Right here. Yep, I got it pulled up.
Is that the Russian oligarch bullshit they were pulling?
Yeah, this guy.
Okay.
So apparently, this guy, he's an American veteran. Apparently, he bought these shoes, and they're calling him like a Russian asset.
They're sneakers. These sneakers, and apparently,
which these are incredibly cool, by the way. Like, I mean, I would. If they weren't $400 and they actually had my size, I would buy a pair.
They made me a Russian oligarch overnight. Here's how.
Just copy and paste.
Guys, I'm a sneakerhead. I'm also a U.S. Army veteran. And yes, I am a Republican. The title of the article read, "A Russian oligarch spends $9,000 on sneakers to support Trump." Sounds sketchy, but I actually came from Ukraine. At the time, it was part of the Soviet Union. I came here at the age of 13 as a refugee, where my dad had $4 in his pocket. I busted my ass working every dirty job under the sun to get where I am today in order to be able to afford to buy these $9,000 pair of collectible sneakers. But I guess the headline of Russian refugee, Ukrainian refugee, or perhaps maybe just a man, that would not get as many clicks as a Russian oligarch. I even saw a tweet from a Ukrainian teacher that said, a Russian shady watch dealer bought $9,000 pair of sneakers as a way to move money to Russia somehow. Of course, I kindly asked Arthur to check the fact that my own charity raised over $250,000 of aid to Ukraine since that war has started.
All right, slow down. You
putting
had
out
to
accusations of stupid tweets.
Yeah.
Why do you have to turn gay?
Now he's sending money to Ukraine. Okay, well, we're done with this guy. Like our government's already sending enough money to Ukraine. Okay, so you don't have to send any money to Ukraine.
Why do they always have to end up being gay?
Because he seems like a cool dude.
Never meet your heroes.
Right.
Dude, I thought your kids are playing Trey, and then I forgot that Clyde's got those bottle babies.
I got goats in a kennel right now.
Yeah. I was like,
it's about
Trey's
feeding
kids
time.
Are really rambunctious this morning.
Oh no, they're gone. They're
daughter will come and get them in a little while. Time for them to eat. It's getting there. So
I've never bottle fed goats before, but are they as like aggressive as like sheep and calves are? Like
yes.
Looks like they're gonna rip the nipple
once
off.
they learn, that's just like look out. Yep.
Just headbutting the titty.
Yeah. I guess that's the way they make this milk drop, right? You gotta slap it around a little bit.
Man, nature's scary.
Yeah, it sure is.
You know what else is scary? Apparently, a transgender Muslim inmate. So what is? I don't know what this is.
It's a Spider-Man mask.
I'm over here, man.
Like the crooked eyes.
She looks like one of those people that get the tattoos to look like lizards, and like she's at least got the eyeballs so she can look separate ways like a chameleon.
The correct way to deal with these people is to just ship them off to a Muslim country. Like you're a trans whatever Muslim. We're gonna switch you off and let you.
You can't wear your hijab. Like, okay.
Well,
if you wear a hijab though, like who's gonna know what you are?
That.
We'll ship you off to one of those Muslim countries, and you can wear your hijab all you want. Just don't let them find out that you're trans, because that'll be the last thing that they ever find out about you.
I bet you the Muslim trans population in Muslim countries is probably astronomically higher than we expect.
Yeah, because you're just sticking it through a mail slot at that point.
Yeah, you have no idea. You don't know what you're doing.
Like you don't
know what's
it's like the Muslim equivalent of a glory hole.
Yeah. And then once you do that, like you can't rat on them, because then you're just as guilty and you'll get stoned too. So
yeah, like you've already sinned.
Yeah, right.
No. Isn't
it's a hell of a pyramid scheme.
Isn't there like laws that if they accidentally eat pork, as long like if they know, or like even if they don't know, sometimes like they can, something like that. I was reading.
I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know.
Like if they accidentally,
I feel like if that was true,
sex,
then we'd be.
I have seen the propaganda
drop shipping,
videos of Israelis dipping their bullets in like bacon grease and shit like that. I don't.
Stupid.
Like they've also been putting Jake Shields' names on their mortar shells. I don't know if you saw that.
Which is odd. It's actually an odd thing if they do, if they're like saying that they don't believe in like the Muslim religion, then why are they acknowledging that their laws? I guess I don't know. It's like, whatever. I don't know. I guess just like a FU kind of moment.
Well, the only one that's allowed openly to be ridiculed and mocked is Christianity.
True.
And then, there's the whole hierarchy, and then, you get to the one where the guys wear the little hats. That's the one that's off limits. I mean, you can poke and prod with the Muhammad people, but to an extent.
The Muhammad people come after you, though. That's the difference.
Yeah.
Like, they'll.
Yeah, you can't show the Prophet Muhammad. They will actually like declare jihad.
They'll actually cut your head off. And,
they'll declare jihad.
Other ones will just shut your bank account down.
I know you guys probably have like heard about this, but like all those years ago, they had a Draw Muhammad contest in Texas. Do you guys remember that?
No.
It did not end well for the people that showed up because it was in Texas. Yeah.
Wait, does Texas have more of a Muslim population?
No, they were, dude. Honestly, it was bait. So you had a bunch of good old boys out there that are obviously
acting funny. Yeah.
And two Muzzies showed up, and well, they didn't make it too far.
Mm.
Yeah, it's not like when you're going
Sad
into
day.
like a French cartoon publisher to take those.
No.
The Charlie Hebdo guys.
Mm.
I'm trailing.
I remember that, the Danish, back in, I feel like I was in high school. Maybe
It was
college,
after.
I don't know.
It was after that, but yeah,
Was it?
God, it's been over 10 years for sure.
Yeah. Oh man.
I have no sense of time.
Well,
anymore. I still feel like the 90s was 10 years ago.
You know what's been going on for 10 years apparently, and then it's going to keep going on? Climate change. Or climate crisis now they're calling it here.
It's climate evolution, okay?
Yeah. And see,
really,
the
like,
climate
just call it
evolves.
what it is.
Did you see the article? There was an article that was posted the other day that said they actually got they now believe that the climate experts now believe that they got the timeline wrong. It's not the world's not going to
40. No,
yeah, it's not going to end in 10 years. It's like a lot further out. They keep revising it back out. They keep revising it out. It's like, oh, we actually got this wrong. It's not gonna. The world's not gonna end.
More years. It's 2040 now.
It's like when my dad kept telling me, "Oh, not this year. Maybe next year we'll go to Disney." Come on, just get it over with.
So apparently this is the WMO World I don't know why the meteorological organization is caring about like I guess the climate. Well, I mean, I guess they report on the weather, but I mean, I don't know why they care about how the weather is. But apparently, it's not gender neutral, and they believe that there's untapped potential to harness the role of women as climate leaders and advocates.
Nobody's listening to women anymore. We've seen what that results in. Nobody's doing it. You're not going to tap into some unharnessed potential of women. Nobody wants to hear them talk anymore. We're done with that. Send them back to the kitchen where everything is shifting back towards trad everything. Stephanie keeps telling me like she just wants to be a stay-at-home housewife. I mean, we're probably not that far off from it, actually. Got a couple like goals and things that we need to get taken care of.
You know,
I'm all for it.
As long as you can keep her from spending all your money, then it's like okay.
See, that's the trick though. She says she wants to be a stay-at-home housewife, but at the end of the day, she likes making money more than anything else. Like she likes having a job and making money and having her own money. And so while she says she wants to be a stay-at-home housewife, that would last all of about 2 weeks, and then she'd be like, "All right, fuck this! I got to get a job. I need something to do."
That's probably like mine. Yeah,
it's not. I don't know. I think staying at home is a chore. It's a task in and of itself that you don't realize until you're there because there's a million.
You're a
things
house
that need to
husband.
get
How's it? Yeah, tell us
more
about
or less. At work, I do stuff 2 days a week. I'm in a co-op with teaching and stuff like that. So it's not totally, but for a while it was just home with the little kids, and it's not as easy as it.
I mean, especially if you do what like
unless you're like totally like
lazy,
you're bringing
yeah.
in like millions of dollars a year and it doesn't matter, and you have you can pay somebody to come do your dishes for you and do all that other stuff, and you just sit around playing with paint your toenails. Let's say something.
Do you paint your toenails regularly? I know you don't wear.
I
you don't
used
wear
to.
shoes.
I
So.
used to. Well, I used to. I got to cover up all the fungus and the black toenails and stuff like that.
Oh, I smashed mine like a month ago, and it's still like healing.
I lost one. I ran the Vermont 100 like 10 years ago, and I lost one then, and it has grown back, but it's grown back
crooked
in such a way that it grows like straight up out of my toe. So I just have this little like ridge of toenail that if I don't like cut, it's really weird. But,
I feel like you could like bind that or something and make it start growing the right way again. You just got take a little work and probably wouldn't be super comfortable.
The nail bed came off, like the toe. I don't know. I could probably sell it on OnlyFans.
Like here's my weird foot. Like yeah.
And
there's gotta be some weird feet people. I mean, like really weird feet people, not just weird.
There are some weird foot fetish people out there. You could probably
I would
make
probably
a decent amount of money.
I would probably make a killing. Okay, I have size 16 feet. Okay, like so I wear size 16 shoes. I would probably make a killing on feet OnlyFans. Like just saying.
I got hobbit feet. I don't think it would work out well for me. Like I don't know. I don't know if people are really into hairy feet. That's our next venture. Is we're gonna start a morning after. We're gonna start a morning after OnlyFans. You got the giant size 16 feet. You got the hobbit feet. You got the weird toenail feet. I'm sure Dag and Mark have got some weird shit going on with their feet. We'll start a foot fetish OnlyFans and rake in the dough. This is how we'll fund our hippie commune that we're gonna start.
I mean, Magoo, they're like if you look at Taylor Lorenz, obviously she keeps her thermostat on like 90. So yeah, I don't think women ever.
Is she still around?
She's still around. She occasionally does like
every time she posts something, it's the epitome of cringe, and everybody just lambasts her. So at this point, and she utilizes chain block so much. Like,
okay,
I'm not sure if anybody sees her content except for the people who are the most devout psychotic leftists. Like the way she chain blocks. So yeah,
I mean,
she
if
still
you follow
does shit,
anybody on like anybody even mildly conservative or whatever, she's like you're probably blocked because of her.
So.
Well, apparently, my generation is screwed. Other than being blamed for everything, my generation is probably just screwed because apparently millennials and Gen Zers are pulling in bigger paychecks. Much of their spending power is fueling short-term purchases like groceries and vacations, not savings. So groceries are a short-term purchase. I didn't know that. That's a new one on me. But there's already a fact check on it. This headline is false. Not fact check the community notes, but I mean, this headline is false. It uses the word paycheck, but the source cited is comparing percent growth in equities and mutual funds held by people of various age groups. These are held by only a tiny percent of the population and not normal paychecks. So they're not talking about paychecks in this actual article.
I mean, vacations is there, don't go on vacation if you can't afford to go on vacation.
And like Dag and I talked about it a couple weeks ago, but like a lot of the people who complain about their massive bills, their grocery bills and stuff like that, like we've got little local grocery stores and Aldi and stuff like that. Like, yeah, I understand if you're having to go to fucking like Whole Foods or Walmart for all of your groceries, you're probably fucking broke. We've got these little like local groceries and stuff that they run specials on stuff. They have locally sourced meat that you can get for really good prices. Like,
don't be retarded, No, I think like I mean, we just got an Aldi's, and most stuff is cheaper there than the Kroger. I don't really go to Walmart, but like, I mean, you look at like, some of the carts, like the people who go shopping for other people, and when they share the pictures of the carts, soda is like insanely expensive. I just had to buy a 6-pack of bottles of soda so we can do the bottle baby goats, right? Because that's the type of bottle you use. I couldn't believe like how much it was. Or like a soda at the register is $2.30. Like, stop! Don't buy that shit. You don't need it. Like, it's bad for you all the way down. It's bad for you from like I understand like there's little luxuries in life, and that's what we do. But like, man, I remember like, because this like it's one of those things that irritates me. Like I remember when my son was born, my wife was working at a residency for like $30K a year, and I wasn't working. I was staying home with the kid, and like we were living on like beans and rice and occasionally eggs. I mean, like, and that's what you did, because that was, and that's not where we are now, but like there's ways to do things. Like, just because society says you need to have, a $70,000 car, $60,000 brand new car. No. Like, use your damn mind and stop being an idiot. Like, you're not going to get ahead crying and complaining about how mean the world is to you. Like, suck it up, Buttercup. Move along.
Remember that video from like the little girl who had just started her new job in the city, and she was complaining about her commute to work and how she wasn't going to be able to afford to keep living in her apartment. And like when she's doing the video and she's walking through her apartment, I'm like, good God, your apartment is nicer than any place I've ever lived in my life. Like, and you're fresh out of college. Yeah. This all makes sense. You are living way above your means. Why are you like?
Well, it's like this quote.
I think we're sold that.
We're sold. Yeah, you are sold to live above your means. Like that is the kind of American dream, quote unquote. But like this is what it's saying. Like, if you go to a dark place, you can stay there. I try to live in the now. Like, I'm already believe I'm wealthy. This is quoted from somebody that they were like interviewing for this article or whatever. It's a 34-year-old person. Which, I mean, I don't live like I'm wealthy. I mean, I get a few things that I want, but obviously, I have to keep up with everything else. So, I mean, but
it's man.
I mean, and if you look at all the cost of like average stuff, like, you really don't need to be like just getting a bunch of stuff. I mean, like. I think that's a lot of it is people are like, oh, the new thing, or I need to get this, or I need to get that. I mean, the only things that are really bad and which is why you don't need to be just spending on all this kind of just, I don't know, cheap crap, is because you have these expenses that come up. Like, I need to buy new stuff for your car. Your car breaks down, or you need to get repair or something like that. Like,
your $10,000 air conditioning unit goes out. Like,
stuff. You're going to have expenses. Like, even if you buy, like, our house, we bought our house basically brand new, and still we've had a couple things that we've had to in the past, like 7 years that we've been living here. We still had to do a couple things here and there. So
I will say they make stuff to break now. Our house got hit by lightning. The water heater went out. Got a new one through insurance. 3 years later, it's not a big deal, but the pressure switch, the heat pressure switch on the top that lets it bleed out if it gets too much pressure in it broke. 3 years. 3 years and it's done. And I mean, it's not a big deal. It's a $30 piece that I got to replace, but like, dang, man, if I had to call somebody to come in and do that for me too, it'd probably be another $150. Like,
well, I mean, or if you do what a lot of people do is like, oh, I'll just buy a new one. Like, and like they don't know what's wrong with it, or they don't think to. There's not many hot water heater repairmen. Like back in the day, there were people specializing in a lot of that kind of stuff, so it did make sense. But now people are in like the throwaway society that we have. It's like, I'll just buy a new one, like because I
Well,
don't
and
want to bother.
That's another benefit of getting out of the big cities and places like that and being more rural is like we have plumbers that actually know how to work on that stuff and fix that stuff.
Mhm.
If something, I got a glass guy on the north end of town that if I have, glass gets knocked out of a window or whatever on my car or truck, I can just take it up there and a couple $100 and he'll replace it. I got a mechanic friend that's down the road with a shop that if I got something that needs to be worked on, I just call him and pull the vehicle into his shop and we dick around with it for a couple hours and get it fixed. And, I'm throwing him a couple $100 for the time and, for helping me out and letting me use his shop and stuff. And it's like, move on. You have people that know how to do stuff. Whereas if you're in the city, like there's nobody that's doing that shit.
It's really,
and if they are, they're like a they're gonna charge you an arm and a leg because they know that they've got you. Like,
and it's so expensive to be there in the first place.
Yeah,
it's really interesting. The kids in the high school kids that I'm with at the co-op, they're using. She got them a science textbook this year, and it's environmental science. I want to say Pearson put it out, but the unit they've been doing recently is all about sprawl, right? Like suburban sprawl and how bad it is for the environment because, like, it cuts down on natural habitat and breaks up, like, and how good cities are because, like, they grow up and, like, and I guess in that sense, right? Like you do usually have to walk more, so it's better in that way. There's more things that are not local, but like, you don't have to go as far. There's, but like,
well, you're not using
all,
your vehicle like for instance, even to our next door neighbors, like we can walk over there, like they're about an acre away or whatever, but it is more convenient just to kind of like hop in the car and drive over there. But like, if you are just like a block away from somebody, it would be better to just like walk over to the like, or even less than a block away sometimes. Like, but I can see that. I think one of the things you lose though,
but you lose the community when you live with 3 million other people. You might have a community with people in your building or people on your block, but you don't know the plumber down the road. You don't know the mechanic down the road. Like you don't have any of those connections at all. Those are totally lost in city life. I'm like, and that's the other thing. Jay Forte, all pavement causes all kinds of problems with flooding, but like you think about that and what that does to our climate, the global climate, right? All these giant metal paved sinkholes that just absorb heat and re-radiate heat, like
reflect it back on into each other, into the other buildings. Like a giant building reflecting heat back into another building, and they wonder why, like, oh, why are the cities so hot? It's like you have freaking giant metal buildings that reflect each other and like hold this heat together. Like they're holding the heat within the city. So yeah, of course it's gonna be hot as hell. Like,
and then they blame global warming on cow flatulence.
Like it's the bunch of.
You know how much flatulence comes out of a city?
How much?
Oh, I don't know. I thought you were gonna hit the button because somebody said the R word.
A retarded amount. That's it.
Because democracy basically means government by the people, of the people, for the people. But the people are retarded.